Hi Aries. The time I'm doing this reading is 26th of May 2025. So it's going to be a case from now moving forward that whenever or you get to this reading is when you get to it, okay? It's not going to be relevant for a certain period of time. It might be just relevant for you in the moment, or maybe it's time in the future, or maybe it's something you've already been through and this could be confirmation, okay? Now, from what I can gather, it's sort of like going to be, we're moving into some, I guess, some shake-up energies. Things are getting shaken up all over the place. And even with regard to our, mind, body, spirit things, of course. So, Aries, we're just going to see how you are navigating these energies, and if there are any pertinent messages for you that are going to come through. So we're going to call in, I actually feel like Melchizedek is helping at the moment. Melchizedek, Metatron, Sister of the Rose, okay. And of course our, dragon energies, always ever present, as well as our other, ascended masters, archangels and light beings, of course, and our other spirit guides and our higher selves. So we have a lot of interdimensional support, extra dimensional support, okay. But I think down here in the 3D moving into 4D, we are sifting through a lot of BS, and we have been for a while, but it's going to, I have a feeling it's going to just get a little bit more intense. So let's have a look here, Aries. Let's see how things are going for you, and maybe Spirit has some help or some suggestions. The moon's come out. Yeah, I don't do reversals at this point. It did come out up right in front of me, but so this is your, depth stuff here, Aries. I think you're going through some things that have been hidden are sort of coming to light, and I think this is interesting because I think you're meditating on this, and it's almost like I kind of had this energy. I mean, it's Monday here at the moment. We've just kind of finished up the weekend, but lots of ideas sort of start coming in, and it's a little bit like, sometimes when you have a lot of ideas coming in and insights and downloads, as well as depth stuff coming up and wanting to come out, okay, sometimes it's a case of just really holding space for yourself and just really doing some meditation and just kind of going, well, I am where I am, enough is enough, and it's just going to be, it's actually stormy here. I don't know if you heard that. It was a crack of thunder or something out there. I don't know what's going on. The wind is blowing out here. So I'm not sure why, but I'm just shuffling a few more cards here. We're just going to keep going. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so there's a cycle that you feel is kind of wrapping up. Okay, Two of Cups. Look at these cards in a moment. Magician, yeah, that's a real positive. Wow, the Empress, another nice positive one. I think things are going to, if energies feel a little bit topsy-turvy at the moment, I think they're going to settle down in the not too distant future. I feel like it's going to be a month or two before things start to settle. It's just my personal vibe on it. And Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, feminine energy, wow, Page of Cups, and the King of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, you have the Five of Wands. And I think this is kind of depicting the energy that we're in at the moment. I think collectively we're going through a bit of a sorting. It's a bit of a melting pot happening. I'm just going to pause and get back to you in a moment. Okay, Aries, these two cards at the centre are sort of suggesting really deep meditation. And almost you, I think, as a means to navigate this energy here, which is, it can be conflict, it can be competition, it could be stuff of the ego too that's sort of coming up. And I feel like you're really sort of going within here to really just observe what's going on with your higher self and your ego, and also your divine feminine, divine masculine, and your higher self, okay? Because I feel like you have a sense that there's something that's going to be ending or releasing, and it could be something to do with how you view yourself, you know, what you have associated with and how you see yourself. I think it's going to change, it's going to morph, and it's going to expand, because what you're going to be stepping into here is magician energies. And I think this is sort of like your conscious mind here at the moment. This is the subconscious sort of detecting that there's some deep change or shift going on. This is your conscious mind, and I think you're really tapping in during your meditations. You're really kind of, you might even be consolidating a lot of stuff that you've done, all of the skills, abilities, and, you know, all the knowledge that you've acquired, okay? And you might also be going into, you know, a spirit connection now. I think maybe you are sensing that more, and you are going to also be opening into your receptivity here with regard to your spirit connection, but also receiving information. You could almost be allowing things to flow through you, you know, sorting out what is truth and what's illusion, and really just kind of getting to your inner essence here, which I feel the Empress is kind of like your inner, this is like an essence. This is, the Empress is source connected, earth connected, okay, very higher self, but activated, but grounded, okay. And I feel that that's probably, after these, you know, tumultuous energies have passed, this is where you'll be sitting, okay, which is nice. At the moment, you are, yes, introspecting, Queen of Cups, okay. You know, that's in agreement with the Four of Swords there, okay. You're looking at your emotional body, your creativity, and you're also looking at the nature of your thoughts and ideas and how things, and even this can also be, you know, those constructs or the conditioning, okay. Maybe you're meditating on your conditioning, looking at that, examining it, and unpacking some things. When we say conditioning, I'm not talking physical conditioning, I'm talking the psychological conditioning that we've experienced over time. You know, all of those things that we have felt kind of obligated, almost sort of coerced, but, you know, into believing about how things should be, what we should be doing to get to A to B and all this sort of stuff, okay. But here you are going inward and looking at your emotions. This is also really grounded energy that's around you, and I feel like this is spirit guides, okay. This is getting you to ground yourself. So Aries, if you felt recently that you really wanted to connect with nature, okay, that's also the Empress. You're going to get a lot of energy and rejuvenation from that, because look at the red here, that's energy, okay. There's energy here that you're receiving from the earth, but this is also about contemplation, holding space for yourself. And the yellow is high frequency. Sorry, I just have to keep picking up these three cards now, because you're probably shifting up in frequency, Aries, but I feel like, actually this sort of came through my meditation on the weekend as well, and a lot of that was to do with getting back to like simplifying things a bit, okay, rather than making things more complex, more competitive, more enmeshed. You know, it's about making things simple, okay. And I don't mean that you have to, you know, we don't mean it too extremist by that. I mean, it's a free country, it's a free world, isn't it? But, you know, this is about, maybe if you are thinking a lot about a lot of different things, maybe it's just habitually, you know, simplifying the thoughts, doing some breath work, going into your body energy a bit more. Also going to throw in there that if you're a big coffee drinker, okay, that can kind of cause a lot of extraneous thinking, okay. So maybe it's about, you know, cutting back on caffeine. That could be something that's just come through here, if that could be relevant for someone. This is Page of Cups, which is something that you're kind of looking to, I think, cultivate. And this is also a focus on your emotions, but also kind of channeling your emotions in a way, maybe into an art form or something creative, where maybe you're going to be sort of creating a new identity here. I mean, I think at the moment, Aries, you kind of have this feeling of like you're pretty much done. Like maybe there's a few things in life that you're done with. And you're kind of just going, you know, this is you and your higher self here. I think it's almost like your subconscious, maybe in your sleep, you're kind of doing some higher self work, okay? You're fine-tuning things. But I think when you sort of stand up from this, you know, you move into this beautiful Empress energy. I think your goal down the track is to kind of really kind of come into this creative artistry, kind of being original, being authentic, being really true to yourself here, but also looking at your emotions, going with the flow, being high frequency, being grounded, you know, and just, I think, being more centered and aligned. And here we have the King of Wands, which is, yes, this is an alignment. The wand is like this, a symbol of alignment. And it is about, you know, rather than flailing your own wand around, looking at all the other wands and seeing what they're doing, having to dodge and attack and all the rest of it. It's like, okay, let's just simplify. Let's have one. Let's just hold space and be in our own frequency. So I think, Aries, you're looking to be in your frequency. This is actually Aries card. So you're going to be moving into your power and just really settling into your own frequency, I feel. And this is going to be, I think you're going to, it's looking like, yeah, through meditation. I think you're meditating at the moment, that you're going to be coming into greater contact with your higher self and just coming into this beautiful earth, divine feminine connection. You have a lot of divine feminine energies, and there's been a big thing, just, this always reminds me of Celtic or Celtic female feminine goddess priestess energies, okay? And I feel like you're going to be moving into those energies a little more as well. They have been around. I don't know, there's something in the air. I feel like it's to do with that the things that went on galactically with the Orion Wars. I feel like there's a similar vibe happening now, and there's almost like this, it's not going to be a complete return of, you know, pagan Celtic practices, but I feel like there's, you know, there's this thing with Christianity and other things going on at the moment, and I kind of feel like there's a little bit of repetition, and I've almost had sort of experiences, if you've had experiences of turbulence, it could be to do with past lives that you've experienced during medieval times, okay? Because a lot of what went on with Orion also played out during those times on Earth, okay? Obviously not, that wasn't happening at the same time, but the Orion wars were way historically, we're talking galactically, but a lot of the repeats, or a lot of the wars that happened, I'm not saying we're going to have a war, I'm just saying that in our minds there's a lot of stuff going on, okay? We're sifting through a lot of stuff, or we're being confronted with a lot of things that we're needing to just don't pay attention to it, don't pay attention to it. That's the kind of energy that's coming through. And I'm just going to grab a sacred forest oracle just to kind of ground our energy a little bit. Can you feel like I'm actually a little bit ungrounded as I'm talking there? I'm like, yeah, we just need to breathe. I did do some connecting with the nice, beautiful forest on the weekend, which was really nice and quite essential. Every time we go in nature, I think we receive uploads and we receive grounding energy, we receive healing. Okay, so any time you can do that is going to be useful for you spiritually and physically, okay, and emotionally and mentally. Okay. Let's just, maybe I'll just take one off the top. Purity. Yeah, I think this is what you're going through at the moment, Aries. I feel like you're sort of sorting, you're trying to get to the pure essence of yourself, and you're really kind of going through, you know, this idea. The moon talks about illusion, you know, secrets that have been hidden, and why have they been hidden. So maybe this is stuff about yourself too, that's positive things that are coming to light about yourself, okay? But there could also be some other things about your conditioning here that you're letting go of. Now I'm going to cut the deck and draw one. Truth, yeah, the truth of the matter. Okay, which is kind of what we've been talking about. So Aries, I feel like you're getting to the truth and the purity, and here we have the reflecting pool of stillness. This is just really nice confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. This is what you're doing at the moment. Okay, the reflecting pool, and here we have the pool in the bottom of the moon card. Okay, this is the pool, and it's sort of reflecting. Or it could also be that, you know, our higher selves or our egos are reflecting things back to us, okay? Or that we're looking at those reflections now. I think maybe we're entering this time where we're expanding our consciousness. And we can more easily step into this observer mode. So we can observe ourselves. We can observe our higher self. We can observe our ego, okay? And I think this is why it's just really a case of, you know, we just really need to meditate, slow things down, you know, just have some times of stillness here, which is what this is talking about. The Empress is also very still. Okay, that's a very receptive, still energy, as is the Queen of Pentacles, although there can be a component of activity in there, but it's probably, you know, fairly chill kind of activity, as with the Queen of Cups. All these feminine energies are, you know, some stillness there for you, Aries. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that's been helpful. Look forward to the next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, great week, and I'll see you again soon.